And welcome back to another great episode of In Gear.
Amen
Your
to that,
host,
brother.
What's the matter?
I said amen to that, brother.
Yeah, another great escape from the bullshit work week. Your host, as usual, I'm Cigarette Pepsi Guy.
Oh, God.
And he's Droopy Knits Tom.
I don't have droopy nipples, you piece of shit.
He's coming to us for the first time.
God damn it.
Wearing women's underwear. How does it feel to wear those women's underwear on your body, Tom?
Here's the thing, man. I happen to wear men's underwear, and that was one fucking time. I swear to God, dude.
I didn't realize that men's underwear is lacy.
That was one fucking
rose
time
color
that I happened to put those on, and that was a treat for you. And fuck you for revealing that to everybody else, because I did that for you.
You don't do anything for me. You understand?
Yeah, I'm that guy. I'm the guy. Give me everything I want. Yeah, well, continue. Come on, hit us up.
All right. Well, let me get you with a comment from our YouTube channel. You ready for this?
Oh,
do you even know what's about to happen?
I'm slowly getting turned on, but I'm interested now.
I hope you are. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So Fignetti writes, and I quote, "Pump scene. Can't believe he's not involved." I'm sure the he's talking about there is you.
So, hey, listen, first of all, Justin, we got to say thank you to Fignetti for commenting. We appreciate
Keep the comments rolling.
Exactly. We appreciate any comment, anything like that. Any penis pic, mostly anything that make us feel sweaty.
Yeah, if you got like a nice set of nuts,
nut
send those
sacks.
Pictures over to the email,
Exactly.
ingearpodcast@gmail.com.
There you go. So Fignetti said, I can't believe that he's in the pump scene. How dare he, or wherever the fuck variation of that is. So I don't know if you know this, Justin, but do you remember how I got into the pump scene?
I don't think I was there for that, so I don't know how I would know that.
So there I am, like 12-year-old Tommy, naked in the bathroom, sitting on a cold toilet seat. I had convinced my parents to buy me some sort of like football or soccer ball at the time. And you know, any one of those sets comes with like the pump that like, it's like a plunger type thing with like the tiny little needle.
The little like needle to inflate your basketball or whatever.
Yeah. It'll go in like basketball, football, soccer ball. They all have the same general system. So I remember thinking to myself, I remember watching this episode of Degrassi on like Teen Nick or something at that time. And I want to say, like, correct anybody out there, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I was watching something different, but I remember in Degrassi, this dude got caught using a penis pump. And so here's what happened. I thought to myself, oh my God, this guy's pumping up his penis. That's awesome.
Oh, is that awesome?
Yeah, that's great. I want to pump up my own penis.
But why?
I just think it'd be cool. It's erotic.
I mean, I guess if you say so.
I'll get into that in a
I
second.
think it's fair to say I've never done that.
So here's what happened. I take this needle of this penis pump, or no, I'm sorry, this basketball pump. I slide it into my urethra, and I pinch and create a seal.
That's not how you penis pump.
No, that's not how
you do it.
I didn't know that. So now I'm pumping, and I notice my urethra is getting like extremely large. I remember it was queefing out of my penis tip as it was a vagina.
You had penis farts.
Oh, I was farting out of my penis, dude. Yo, like
that's got to be a unique experience.
It felt weird. At the same time, slightly erotic and slightly relieving. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever felt. Let's put it that way. So, fast forward. I'm in the penis pump scene. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to this fucking. I'm going to school. Like this girl that has a crush on me out of this huge hog. Little did I know, all I'm doing is fucking pumping up my urethra and putting air into my bladder, which probably isn't the best thing anybody should fucking do.
Yeah.
So I roll on from that. And, a few years goes by, I wound up getting into the pump scene pretty hard. I hit the scene pretty hard.
What's the scene like?
The scene, it's very friendly. It's a very communal scene. So basically, like, if you were to whip out that thing you call a meat shaft and pump up, for me, as being a senior scene member, I would be like, hey, good for you. Hell yeah. Pump it up, bro. I'm here for you. What do you need?
Now, I don't need a goddamn thing from you, dude.
So here's the thing. Everyone thinks that being in the pump scene and pumping up your dick is like, you just sit there and you pump it up and it's like, oh, it's good to go. No, you need a cock ring. And everyone sleeps on the cock rings. You need to have your cock rings 2, 3, maybe sometimes 4 set up on this pump so you can roll down. Once you're at max pump level, you roll down these rings and you almost like fucking like just like your fucking wiener. And yeah, the pump scene's great. Anybody should get into it. That's what I'm all about. Also, if you have any sort of penile questions, anything that you need to ask, hit up Justin. He's great on penis and he loves talking about it. So
Yeah,
Justin,
you're kind of a penis guy. I can say, I think it's pretty safe to say I've never really experienced the old pump action.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, man. Question for you, because we talked about enough about penises. I think more than enough to handle us off for the next few episodes.
Well, that's weird because I think you said at one point you love talking about penises.
No, and I get where you're confused on that because you're always the one talking about it. So I can get where you can kind of get confused being on that one track mind all about penises. So I get that. And I'm not going to blame you for it. It's cool. It's totally awesome. But I do have to ask you, alien encounters, anything about it, any opinions, anything on aliens. I'm a firm believer. I want to know more so for you. What are your opinions on alien encounters? Have you ever experienced anything with aliens, anything like that? Have you ever had anything to do with it? Literally any opinion. I'm interested in what you have to hear because I'm a very big controversial guy.
Well, unfortunately, and I hate to just let the old conversation die as it is, but I just don't have any great story as far as that's concerned. I've never seen an alien or a spaceship or, some UFO or whatever it is. I'm familiar with the subject, but personally, I've never really experienced anything that is
super. I wouldn't say supernatural, but something, some sort of a close encounter of whatever kind.
Yeah, no close encounters here with Big Daddy Tong.
Well, question. Area 51. Opinions. Is it a thing? Is it not a thing? Is it a thing? Is it as secretive as, in your opinion, is it as secretive and do they hold aliens as you think we do? What are your opinions on it?
So that I'm glad you asked.
Good.
I've got an opinion on that.
I'm here.
And I want you to buckle up for this. Good. All right, so here we go. Area 51 is a test site for the military out in the middle of nowhere. Okay. The end. So what it is, they go out there where nobody else really has any business being. And, if they want to drop some test bomb out in the middle of the desert,
the Nevada
they
desert,
can do that. If they want to fly a test airplane, because when an airplane flies away, you can see that bitch for miles away.
Especially with the radar technology.
So since there's nobody else out there that has any business being out there, there's nobody that's going to see this aircraft take off and fly away. Yep. So I think that's a big reason why they're out there. So they cannot be seen doing top secret stuff. I'm sure it's very top secret and very secluded, but do I think it's I don't know, space aliens are captured there? I don't think so. That's my opinion.
Do you think the reason their Area 51 is placed where it is for the sole reason that they can test certain aircraft and almost in a sense exceed their limitations and our limitations of radar and push these aircraft as high and as far as the way as they need to be rather than hiding information from the public or other countries? Do you feel like it's more for a purposely the army or whatever, military fucking service is dealing with these things? Do you think it's more so we have this giant area that we can push these aircraft as high as they need to be, as low as they need to be, or as far away as they need to be, and that's why it's there?
I got a good opinion on that. So, and I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, hit us up with the show. But I believe one of the most famous things that come out of there, and this is again only my own knowledge, is I think the SR-71 Blackbird was developed and tested there.
Yep.
Which is the fastest known aircraft that we have even to this day.
I believe it's the most highest flying altitude aircraft that we have also.
I don't think that's true.
Well, if I'm wrong or we're wrong, comment and tell us wrong. But
I think that would be the U-2 spy plane.
Oh, here's the thing. I'm on a podcast and I think I know what's wrong and what's right.
Oh, you think you know a thing or two?
I think I know. And if we're wrong, like I said, hit us up. But continue. I'm sorry for cutting you off. Like,
So, I mean, just going off of the barometer of the things that I'm pretty sure have originated there, I think that it's a lot of like aviation related testing that goes
yeah.
on over there. Um, Now, we were kind of talking about before we went ahead and started rolling this episode, and I was hoping you can kind of tell me what the differences were. We were talking about Roswell, New Mexico, and Area 51, and I was not aware of this, but I guess you were saying that Roswell is a completely different incident than what Area 51 would be.
Yeah. So Area 51 takes place in Nevada. And obviously, it takes no genius to know this. But Roswell, New Mexico takes place in
Roswell, New Mexico.
Roswell, New Mexico, right? They're two separate things. They both kind of encompass that same sort of general, I would say, fascination. Or I feel like when you talk about Area 51 and you talk about, um, you know, Roswell, New Mexico, they're both some sort of like alien UFO, sort of like different, you know, what am I trying to say, Justin? I feel like they both kind of like work into each
They're in the
other.
same category.
They're in
They
the same category.
definitely
Like,
work together and
Roswell,
work
New
in tandem.
Mexico definitely has more of that, like, hey, aliens landed. I believe there's a crater in there somewhere in Roswell, New Mexico. There's like some sort of situation.
Is
Like,
there a crater there in New
there's
Mexico?
something.
There's a
Like, I
big
can look. I
crater.
can look it up.
It's near the Grand Canyon. I actually went and saw it one year, the same time I went to see the Grand Canyon. There's a big crater.
You went and saw the Grand Canyon.
I saw the Grand Canyon,
I
and
had
I
no
saw
idea.
this crater, which is this whole different thing. Um, and honestly, to be perfectly honest with you, I was more impressed by that humongous ass crater because it is fucking huge.
Yeah, so right now I'm looking at this Roswell, New Mexico meteor crater. And like you said, it's fucking massive
It's
and stuff like
ridiculous.
that. It's one of those things like, so both those, in my opinion, go hand in hand. Roswell, New Mexico is a very big tourist site for anybody who's looking for that unidentified flying object, sort of like, interest or whatever it may be that, like, brings you there. Like, that's the big thing for there. And then you run yourselves down to Nevada with Area 51,
Yeah.
where they have all these, unidentified aircraft, which in a sense, in a civilian aspect, it makes sense because you're seeing these aircraft that are not released to the public. The public don't know what's going on, but it might be something that the army is like, hey, we're testing what we think is in the secrecy of what's going on. And so what? The civilians think, oh my God, the army's testing UFOs, or there's UFOs all over Nevada. Gotcha. But, the army or the military, whatever it may be, is like, okay, we know what's going on. So, two different planes of it kind of relate to each other.
Now, I will tell you this, though, just because I don't think that there's much alien testing going on in Area 51, I can't say that outright eliminates the possibility of aliens.
I think one of my science teachers very early in high school once told me, if you guys can sit here and tell me that you think we are the only people in this entire universe that are the only intelligent life, you're more naive than I would have ever expected. You are stupid if you think that Earth is the only planet in this universe that, when you think of it, is like, fucking, let's look at this, right? The fucking tip of this paperclip is a fucking very small portion, a grain of sand. The universe is larger than one grain of sand compared to the every grain of sand in the whole world, right?
Right. Yeah, it is.
It is indefinite. So if you're gonna sit there and tell me that we are the only intelligent species, life form, planet that can support life, you're an idiot. Yeah.
And there's just no way of knowing.
There's no way of knowing. But I
And there's
also
just an
feel like,
infinite number of possibilities. It seems so unlikely
exactly, like,
that there isn't any other, planet out there that could support
yeah.
life. There's no other evolutionary chain that could be there.
How can we be the only people that can establish, like, what we have established? And, like, I break it down very simply, and like Justin, like please chime in here at any point. Like sometimes I think of it like I've watched a lot of ancient alien, history channel stories and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And sometimes I think to myself, when you look at the most basic caveman, right? When we first, like the earliest documentation we have of intelligent human life, and you think of them, they created fire, the wheel, and then we go on. And then you go in, let's just say like 20s, 1940s. You're in, what would it be called? Like
World War
World
II.
War II, earlier than that, 1920s, Great Depression into World War
Yeah,
II. And then, the Industrial Revolution, where you really get into industrial production of products that the American people need.
sure.
Where did it come into play? Where, like, 1940 to 2023 this time, 83 years, right? 1940 to 2023. That's 40 or 60, 20, 23. So that's like 83 years, right?
Close enough.
We have microchips in our computers and stuff like that. And this is why I feel like a lot of these things that we've done are based on external forces, because I don't believe I can understand, and maybe like someone out there can explain it better, but how do we have microchips, right? The size of this, that can somehow contain everything me and you have just talked about, and all the video, everything else like that. And now we're like, everything we've ever done is on a chip smaller than this,
Oh
right?
yeah, easily.
So I feel like there has to be some sort of external force. And that is just a theory on me. That is just like, I don't get it. How we went from the Industrial Revolution to where we are at now in such a short, what seems to be, in some lifespans, our great grandparents' lifespans, right?
Yeah,
Being able to accomplish these great feats. I feel like, and call me crazy, I feel like there was a little bit of an external force, that influenced us and gave us some sort of like insight in what we were doing. But the biggest thing about, like, when we get into unidentified flying objects, we get into Roswell, we get into Nevada. Where I grew up in upstate New York, Pine Bush wasn't too far away from us.
right. Now that's up there near Albany, right?
Probably. I don't know.
You know where Albany is?
I know where yeah.
It's the state capital.
So I went to a bar in Albany, and I went to the New York State Museum.
What do you want, a medal for going to the bar?
Yeah, no, I don't. But it was a good bar. So yeah, let's just hear the thing is, right. Pine Bush is a place in, I believe, in New York, and it is like the most frequent UFO sightings. You go on any UFO fucking video, Netflix, Hulu, whatever it may be, they all refer to Pine Bush. And it's just somehow, I believe there's a military base around there, but there's some secrets revolving around Pine Bush. There's a lot of UFOs going on, unidentified flying objects. I'm not saying like that they are aliens,
Right.
because the UFO term could be used very loosely. I could tell you right now, Justin, hey, we look out this window. I don't know what that is. Well, it's a UFO. We have unidentified that, and it's flying, and it's an object. We don't know what that is.
Yeah, meets the criteria.
It meets criteria, right?
Yeah.
So I remember like, doing that whole thing and like, talking to my science teacher, and my science teacher one time came to me and he was like, hey guys, I have this question for you. Are UFOs real, whatever? And he said, how easy would it be for me to put up a weather balloon right now, which you can buy off Amazon, anything like that, one of those giant weather balloons.
Yeah.
How easy would it be for me also to buy some LED lights and a little battery pack and put up this, 10 by 10 fucking circumference, weather balloon, and put some sort of rotating light on it?
That'd be easy.
It's easy, right?
Yeah.
So when you bring that balloon up into the air, somebody 15 miles from there might see these rotating strobe lights that have all these colors and stuff like that. That may be so high in the air, it's like, oh my God, is that UFO? And what he also told me was this. When it comes to perspective, right? If you're in the position you are now, and I am some sort of aircraft, and I'm coming this way at like 100, 200 mile, and at 100, 200 mile like distance, this small light that might be moving at 300 miles an hour will look like it's staying still.
Yeah.
But as soon as this aircraft, wherever it may be, turns and goes like this, that movement exaggerated on such a large scale. So there's an excruciating amount of times where people look into the sky, they see a light that looks like it's staying still, but all of a sudden it just darts across the sky. And that's all based on perception. So he was like, hey, what's going on? Like, like it would be easier for me to fake this. It's all on perception. He believes aliens aren't real, which is probably wrong. I mean, like I said, my stance is naive. So they talked about that. I remember this one day I was in my fucking bedroom. I think I was grounded. I fucked this ex-girlfriend I had, and I brought her home. She stayed over the night, and we smoked a bunch of fucking weed and cigarettes. You know how it is when you're fucking a girl, right? You fucking try to, get a little bit of this.
I didn't think you did that.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't. So I have her over. I got grounded the next day. So I'm sitting outside my window, and I take my dad's binoculars. He had this giant, glorious fucking glass case. I took my dad's binoculars, and I sit out there. I'm like this. And I'm looking at the sky, and I hear a scream, like a very exaggerated, like nervousness voice from my sister and her friends. They come inside, and my dad's on the computer, and they tell my dad, they're like, hey, there's a UFO outside. There's a UFO. So I'm like, well, what do you mean? So I go into my room because I wasn't allowed in my room. I hear them. I crack the door. I hear them. I close it. I have the binoculars there. And I remember opening up my window and looking into the sky. And I see this object they're looking at that's doing something like this. It's, it's moving erratically. It's moving super quick. So, it's super, weird for me. So I take my dad's, and I don't expect any of our viewers, listeners, anybody to think oh yeah, hey, let's take this to the bank. Because the In Gear podcast guy said this is the thing, this is real.
Right.
And I remember looking out with these binoculars, and I take out my window, and I see the object they're looking at because it's we lived in upstate New York. It was very wide open and stuff like that. I went up looking up, and I remember this. It gives me goosebumps to this day. I remember looking up with my binoculars and looking at this thing. And I swear on everything that is holy, it looked like a flying saucer with different colors rotating around it very quickly.
Yeah.
And I looked at it. I got freaked out. I put it down. I looked back up. And all of a sudden, it went like this. Bam. Bam. And then went out of sight as quickly as I watched it for 3 minutes. It was terrifying.
Wow.
It wasn't, it was weird. And I think those are some of those questions. It could be anything from the JFK assassination to Sasquatch to aliens to, what really happened on 9/11. It's one of those things that leaves everything up to interpretation that you may never know the real truth. But what makes it great is just being able to have those sort of inclinations of what's going on.
Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of the situation? It was, I don't remember, a year or two ago. They had the Facebook group or whatever it was. They were all trying to gather together and storm Area 51.
Oh yeah.
And they were trying to see if they could figure out the secrets of Area 51.
Yeah. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. I don't think anything really came of it.
Hot.
What's that?
It was when Facebook was at its peak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anything really came of it. I think a few guys showed up, or maybe 100 or something. Not enough where you could really assault Area 51.
There was a lot of people that showed up for that, and they were going to do that anime run, where it's like this,
like the Naruto run or whatever they called it.
hentai run, if you will.
Yeah.
So they I remember them they tried to storm it. I was a part of that group, and it was
you went out there?
No, the Facebook group.
Oh, okay.
It was basically hey, let's all storm Area 51.
They can't stop us all at once.
No, they can't. So, yeah, that happened. And so they all gathered there. They went there to, storm Area 51. I remember looking on these Facebook social media websites of soldiers who were stationed at Area 51. And they're going through literally they had a brief, and they were like, hey, you're stationed here. Cool. Here's the brief. This is what the social media is saying is going to happen. Here's what you're going to do. And a lot of people they did the fake funny, narrative run into fucking, Area 51, the gates. Nothing ever came of it. Nobody was killed. No one was harmed. But what came of that is a very big celebration, almost like a gathering, like a music festival. And it was a gathering of people with like-minded, personalities, interests, and views. And they were like, "Hey, like, this is what we're gonna do," and they did it, and super dope, super fun. But no, I wasn't a part of it. But I do remember that and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was kind of a weird situation. I mean, just to get from like the perimeter of Area 51 where you're stepping onto private government property
Yeah.
to where the actual base is, the meat and potatoes, that's a hell of a walk. Like it's not over easy to navigate terrain. You cannot
No.
see the base from the perimeter of the base.
Yeah.
Like you got a long way to go till you get to anything interesting.
Well, I have a question for you, and
Hit me with it.
I hope you don't feel like I'm backtracking on this.
I'm ready.
Um, it has to do with the whole alien thing. I remember like going to church, and I know my father can attest to this. I remember going to church when I was a very young kid, probably like 13, 14.
Right.
I received my communion, your first Holy Communion, and stuff like that. And then I went through confirmation class. So in the Lutheran church where I, grew up, whatever the fuck at the time, right? So I go to like confirmation classes. So they'd be like, "Hey, here's this verse. What do you guys think about this?" And like, you go through the whole fucking bullshit thing. I remember at this time, I'm sitting here at a table similar to like the setup we have. It's a big U-shaped table. And we're sitting here and we're hanging out. And what happens is I'm sitting here. All of a sudden I hear, I'll have Sean, if he can, hopefully he can, edit in this sound, which what I can say it sounded like was one of those old Tom and Jerry commercials or Wile E. Coyote commercials where it's like a bomb goes like, boom, right?
Sure.
That high pitched to low pitched boom.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here at this table, and I remember me like this. I'm sitting here, and I'm sitting here like this, with my little fucking Bible. I'm like, bing, 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 bing. And I hear, go from high pitch, very low. And I'm like this. I don't know if this is super weird for me. I've really never told anybody about this. I don't even know if it told my father about this. But I'm sitting here, I'm like, and like that sound goes off, and I'm like this. So everybody else, I'm like, am I the only one that hears this? Is anybody else hearing this noise? Like, what's going on?
That's not the same like pastor you had that you played kissy penises with, was it?
No, I didn't play kissy penises. Actually, she was a female.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. So if I did get the chance to play kissy penises, it would have been kissy vaginas, which would have been super dope for me because, me, I love vagina, obviously.
No, I don't think that's true.
Yeah, right? So I'm sitting here and I hear this, Wile E. Coyote, like a bomb dropping from fucking the atmosphere to the ground. And I'm looking at everybody else, and all they're doing is like looking at these books, like these Bibles. Are like,
yep. I just spilled my drink on myself.
Well, that's good. You deserve that. So they're here like this, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. No one. Like, I almost wanted to say, like, I'm looking at these people. I'm like, does nobody else hear this? Am I the only guy that hears this noise?
Yeah.
Like, it is predominant. I go outside, and my father is standing outside after we were released. Like, hey guys, you guys are done with this class. You're released. I go outside. My father's standing there looking upside. He's like, hey. I'm like, yo, Dad, did you hear that? He's like, yeah. There was just this aircraft. This had to be in like 2004. He was like, there's this aircraft that just came over and hovered over the top of this church you were just in, the Lutheran church. He was like, it hovered there and it was not moving. He was like, it was so close to the ground that I could see the cockpit lights from the cabin section of this aircraft. And he was like, all I remember is it going up and then leaving. And that was it. So
see, that's not reliable information. I think your dad had a stroke or something is what actually happened.
I honestly, Justin, I was so young, and it's one of those situations where it's like, it sounds so far fetched. At the time, it sounds so far fetched. But now moving on, there is some sort of deniability and some sort of stuff like you could sit there and be like, you're wrong, that never happened. But dude, it was like my father, like his look on my face and me running out to my father and be like, yo, Dad, did you hear that? And he's like, yeah, dude. And my father is the greatest and biggest conspiracy theorist, like advocate. Like he'll ask you these, like, we got to have mom one day. I'm sure your father too. Like we both got to have our fathers on one day.
We'll see.
Because he just has these views that like make you question anything and everything. And it is so intense. But what happened was I walked out. He told me what he just saw. Like he would have been in there to get me from this class I was in, but he wasn't because he was standing there looking up at this aircraft that was hovering over the church I was in. For some reason, they were there. He saw the cockpit lights. They took off and left. And that's how that happened. So
who knows? I don't know, man. I've never had anything like that I can speak of. I mean, as far as space aliens or anything like that, or any unidentified floating objects.
Foreign.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, listen, guys, if you have any of these sort of topics you want to talk about, any UFO encounters, literally anything like about this, I know we could all talk about this for years. Hit us up at InGear Podcast, at fucking gmail.com, the Instagram, the Twitter, where it may be, and we'll catch you in the next half of this episode.
Hell yeah.
Hey guys, you're back. You're listening to the next segment of In Gear Podcast. I'm Leonardo DiCaprio. That's Popeye the Sailor Man. And we have our very special guest, Christina Aguilera, on the show today. So thank you, Christina, for being here. We appreciate it. Hey, Justin,
hell yeah.
I got
Second
a question
guest
for you, man.
Okay.
Because, we all live within very close vicinity to some certain, food establishments, some very fast food establishments.
Yeah, this is the United States of America, dude. We all live next to a fast food restaurant.
Am I wrong? Right? So here's the thing. I got a question for you. Have you ever been, or both of you guys, have any of you ever been to Wendy's, the fast food establishment?
Yes, I've been to Wendy's.
Let's see. Tell me, have you?
Yeah, of course.
Well, what do you get? If I was to tell you right now, I'm going to Wendy's. What are you eating? What are you getting?
You better not say Baconator.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, why not a Baconator?
It's so
it's so greasy.
I know, but it's
That's
so
the
good,
point.
dude. Yeah, that's the point,
You're
right?
not going for like a quality, Angus aged dry beef fucking burger.
No,
I want a
going
nice
to
Wagyu
the
burger.
Baconator. Yes, exactly. So I have the story of the century. It is Thomas and the black man's butt cheeks. So here's
and this
what
is
happened.
at a Wendy's?
Yeah.
Well, I got a great Wendy's story for you after that. No,
I
of
roll
course.
up.
Go ahead.
My dad comes out to me and is like, hey, son, I love you. We're going to Wendy's.
And what did you say?
I was like, oh my God, thank you, Dad. We're going to Wendy's. And he's like, I'm taking you to Wendy's, son. This is what's happening, brother.
I've spoke with your dad. I know he speaks nothing like that.
Well, that's what I picture him in my mind as doing. So we go to Wendy's. And I order my 2 bacon junior cheeseburger fucking things. You know, the bacon fucking little things this big.
Yeah, little hockey puck.
Yeah, the hockey puck. So I order them. He goes and he takes his little fucking tray and he sits down the table. So I'm like, hey, daddy, I'm little
Hey,
tiny.
daddy.
Hey, daddy, I'm little tiny Thomas, right? Hey.
Did you bite your lower lip when you told him
Yeah.
that or
Oh
what?
my God, daddy. So I run in, I'm like, hey, I'm going to the bathroom. He's like, hey, son. You earned that piss. You earned going to the bathroom, son. And I was like, oh my God, thanks, Dad. That means so much to me. So I go little on me goes like this, right? I got this. So I run in there.
And what that's you heading to the bathroom?
Yeah, yeah, that's me.
I really hate you right now, dude. I cannot believe this.
So I run into the bathroom. I open up the door like this. Bam. The door is open. And all I see, I swear on my the right hand, the Bible, anything that's holy. I open up the door, and as I open the door, there is this probably 64-year-old black man.
Okay.
That bends over and spreads his cheeks to the door. So as a young kid,
what is he doing that for?
I don't know. As a young kid, I'm sitting there and I'm like, fuck.
I mean, is he in the middle of like a cleanup job back there?
I don't know. I didn't know if that was the case. That's the problem.
What did you say to him?
Information.
What did you say?
I said, "Oh my god, what do I do?" My wife, I open up the door and I'm like, "Oh my god, this guy's spreading his ass in front of me." I see this little fucking chocolate starfish, and I like almost throw up. I'm like, "Well, why is this?" What bothered me as that young kid was, why is this middle-aged black man showing a young kid his asshole?
Was he showing it to you, or did you just walk in when he had his ass out?
You walked in there and then he immediately was like, "Oh, I'm going to show this kid my ass."
I feel like I walked in on a preconceived,
a premeditated exposure.
Yeah, I don't think he knew I was coming in, but I feel like, he was doing something and I just happened to be the witness to that. So I walk in. I see this black man spreading like this. See this? Spraying those cheeks.
Okay.
Walk in, see it, and fucking deal with that. And then I walk back out and I tell my dad, "Hey, Dad, I just looked at this black man's asshole." Yeah,
that's what you told your dad. "Hey, Dad,
and you know
I
what
just
he
saw
said?
a man's
Being
asshole."
God-loving fucking saint. He knows. He's like, "Well, you sure you saw his butt?"
I know what I saw, Dad.
I know. You sure that was what it was?
Dissecting the scenario.
Well, here's the thing. My dad is such a gentle, young, beautiful, white, supple young man that, like, God-loving young man that, like, could never hurt a soul. And, he fucking, like, he was like, "Well, do you really think that's what happened?" I'm like, "I'm telling you, I saw a black man's asshole. You're not going to tell me that I didn't see butthole in that Wendy."
Wait a second here. Was there like a stall in the bathroom?
That's what I'm wondering. How many doors had to be open for you to see this?
He was at the sink
with his ass out.
He was at the sink, and he had to be homeless. He was at the sink.
Well, maybe he was washing his ass.
He was taking a shower.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure. I don't give a shit what he was doing. I, as a young kid, didn't want to see that man's asshole.
What did he say to you? "Hey, son."
Well, is that too crazy of me to be like, "Hey, you know what? I'm 7. Maybe I don't want to see a black man's butthole." Call me crazy. I'm the bad person.
Now let me ask the important questions here, because if I don't ask, who will?
Who will?
Did you get an erection?
I didn't even know what my own penis did, man. What do you mean? I had no idea what to do with that fucking thing. Did I get an erection? Yeah, Justin, I got rock hard. Thank you, DeBleezy. Thank you. Thank you. I got rock hard, and I was like, "Yeah, this is what I need to do. Yeah, this is what I'm now interested in." No, Justin, I didn't get like.
Well, you know what's weird?
Well, no, fuck you. I know you got some sort of shitty fucking fast food story in you.
That's what I was going to say.
Also, I think it's safe to say that we have in the house today, we have DeBleezy, who has worked in the food service industry. Correct me if I'm wrong, DeBleezy. You have worked in the food service industry for quite a while, right?
The food service industry.
Yes.
Fortunately, yes. For like
not fast food service.
Not fast food, but like the food industry. 5 years, 6 years? Like,
Sure.
Somewhere along this line.
Do we need to upload a copy of her resume to the show?
Yes, well, that'll be posted early on the episode. There'll be a link to her resume.
Top secret, highly confidential.
Yeah, top secret. So go ahead, Justin. Hit us with that.
Yeah, well, I know you mentioned this was at a Wendy's, and immediately
your story was at a Wendy's.
It reminded me of my Wendy's story. Yes. God. So you know what they did, especially a handful of years ago. What was it? Eat Great, Even Late. They'd be open at like 11 or 12 o'clock at night.
God. Yeah.
So I roll up to this Wendy's, just driving along in my old piece of shit Ranger. And, it's like 10:30, and I roll up and I go to the little box and I'm trying to order some fucking heart attack, and no one's saying anything. I'm like, what the hell's going on? The lights are on.
So you rolled up to the fucking thing.
The drive-thru.
And you were like, "Hey, hello." You know how it is, Blazer, right? You roll up to like some place like super late at night. You're either fucking high off your ass or
I was just gonna say you're
high as fuck. Hey,
yeah, or they are, or both.
Or they are. Who knows? And you're like, hey.
Well, I think in my case, I was working second shift and I just got off work, so I worked like a 3 to 11 or something. So it might have been like 11:30. Come to think of it,
the fact that you remember the time shows that you were not high enough.
Right? Yeah, I was working. It sucked. Anyway, let me run you down on this. So I'm yakking into this box and no one's saying anything back. So I'm like, well, hell, I'll go ahead and drive around to the side of the building.
So nobody say anything back to the box.
Yeah. I'm just talking to myself here.
normally that I don't know if you have the same opinion, Debleezy. Normally, like when you roll up, they'll be like, you'll say something like, "This establishment is now closed. Wendy's closed at 10 p.m. Thank you for driving through." Like my experience is like there's some sort of auto, or either that or it's blank nothing.
No,
I'm
so
sorry,
I
I
went up
don't
there.
relate. Like, if the lights are off, I'm not going up to the drive-through.
Well, that's it. The lights are on.
Yeah, it's a waste of time. at
Stops
that
right
point.
there. I mean,
Yeah, and I went up there. Lights were on. I think there were even a few cars in the parking lot, and I just felt so sure that what the hell's going on. I know they're open, and I went around to the drive-through window.
Okay, you roll around.
Yeah, look in the window, and what do I see? But
Wait on. Can we take two guesses?
yeah.
All right.
Go
you
ahead.
roll around. What do you see? Let's give it to Bleezy. What do you think? Justin rolls around to the fucking, the drive-through. What do you think Justin is witnessing?
the employees are passing around that as
Well, that'd
Okay.
be pretty cool, but no.
I picture a cleanup scenario. Maybe they're cleaning
They're
up.
just cleaning the floors.
Yeah. Maybe like
That story would definitely make it onto this show. Wendy's employees clean floors. That's one for the headlines.
All right, continue.
No, so what I saw was one employee getting a blowjob
Oh no. Oh no.
from the other employee.
Were they both guys?
No, one was a woman.
I mean, birds of a feather, right? Fuck together, right? That's how it goes.
I mean, why the hell
That's
not? You're gonna
lazy.
lose your $6 an hour job? Fuck it. You might as well get your dick sucked.
Did you do one of these? Let me okay. Were you like this? Like this is how I picture you. Like, and you do one of these and look in, or is it more so like you just do one of these?
Well,
And you're
that's
like,
the
were they
weird
right
thing
at the
too. I
window, or
feel
did
like
you-
if you're gonna go,
Yeah, exactly. Debleezy said. What'd you say?
Like, were they right at the window, or did you have to like lean up over,
Yeah.
through your window?
that's what I was gonna say. That's
Take
the
a
weird
good
thing. I
quality
feel like
look-see to ensure
A good
that
quality
food
look
service
see.
I feel
would
like if
not
you're gonna
be
go to
accessible
Sucktown,
this day.
you go back behind the grill or something where no one can see you.
Oh yeah, that's where all the suck jobs happen, dude.
But they're right there
behind
behind-
the grill.
But well, I don't know that the
Meet me
behind the
behind the
counter is a
grill,
great
brother.
choice. They're just
You
over.
thought we were done.
You thought we were done.
So you rolled around. Here's Justin. I assume at this point you're probably like 4 foot tall. You're a tiny little.
Why am I 4 foot
I don't
tall?
know. I'm just assuming. You're tiny little Judge like this. In your little car, you roll up. You're like, "Hey, I'm tiny little Justin. I'm looking for a quick little meal to satisfy my insatiable appetite." And then all of a sudden, you see something like that. That's like, we can't deal with you right now, sir. Or what happened?
So I fucking sat there for a hot minute, trying to get some attention. I was like,
Trying to get some attention.
yo,
Are you peeping your horn? Or are you flagging
no,
somebody?
I wasn't beeping my horn. No, I'm not beeping my horn.
You might as well have been, man. They're busy.
So I don't know. It felt like forever. It was probably like, 40 seconds
Oh, God forbid. God
before
forbid.
one of them turns around and notices me at the window. Hey, I want the spicy nuggets. Looking back on it, I think I should have just drove away.
Oh
Yeah, maybe so, dude.
But no, I wasn't gonna let a blowjob get in the way of me and my fucking food. They had the natural cut fries back then.
I can't do this anymore, dude. I'm fucking checked out, man.
So of course they see me and
Oh,
are immediately like
God.
shocked and embarrassed.
Oh,
He puts his dick in his pants and like she stands up.
I can't do this anymore, man.
Wait a minute. You actually interrupted. They
Yeah.
stopped because of you.
I wanted my food.
How dare you?
It was the only place to eat in town. I couldn't drive over
How
to Burger King.
dare
It was
you.
already closed.
How could you do that, man? That's so rude.
What should I have done? Drove around the block twice?
Yeah.
You go somewhere else.
There was
Yeah.
nowhere else. It was the only place open in town. I lived in a small town. We had the Wendy's.
Open for business.
Any kind of
We had the Wendy's.
do with that information what you will. So you rolled up
Yeah.
and you saw this guy sucking this other guy's cock.
No, it was a woman sucking him.
Sure, whatever. Same difference. You saw this blowjob happening.
Yeah.
And you said, hey, guys, I get you got what you got going on. But I'm also looking for my spicy nugs.
I don't remember my order to this day, but whatever I got was whatever I got.
Are you
So
comfortable
you
with
got
that?
it.
What? Go ahead. Sorry.
You got your order.
Yeah, actually, the dude,
Okay.
the dude came to the window and he's like, "Hey, man." I'm like, "Hey,
Hey, how was that? Did you finish?
can I get the junior bacon cheeseburger
So
and,
in theory, you could have had, in a sense, semen hands.
a large frosty?"
And a semen hands and a large frosty touching your fucking meal.
I think I did get a frosty.
Oh my God. So that leads us to Delisi. You have worked in quite the few food service industries. I know you told me about, you told us earlier, I think it was like a few weeks ago at this point, one of those few funny stories. Do you have any funny stories or, in a sense, any story that's worth mentioning?
All right.
About
Are you
what's
are you
happening?
witness to any oral sex?
No.
Is that a thing?
Thank-
Also, because like we're
Of
looking.
course it's a thing. The two of the same gender, different gender people walk out of a bathroom. You know what's happening. But listen, there's no story there because you can only assume, right? But here's the thing, okay? So it was COVID, Mother's Day COVID.
Yeah,
fucking-
2019.
All right, so the restaurant's trying to kick it up a notch with their
2020.
fucking fiery
Yeah, sure.
drinks, Coco Loco, serving in a pineapple, put some Everclear on top and light it on fire, which is all fun and cool
Yes,
and
it's
fine.
fun. It's fancy. Cool,
However, people also want to sit outside because they're like,
great.
so we're serving people in these fucking plastic bubbles.
Wait,
Legitimately like plastic dome bubbles.
like
they have
inflated
like
with
a
like
table.
a fan?
It's not inflatable. It's like a tent, but it's clear plastic.
Really?
And they have like little heaters in them. So
God,
you
I
can
knew
enjoy
you
your
were-
meal in the warmth while it's December.
Well, was this in New York
Yeah.
at the time you were?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Both of you guys are from Westchester.
Yes, we're both from Westchester.
No, you
Anyways.
fucking piece of shit, dude. You know where I'm from, and you say that to piss me off.
Schenectady.
No,
Oh my
fucking
god.
New York, Narrowsburg,
Well,
New York.
what's the difference? Are they
Well,
far?
Westchester's super bougie.
It really is.
Narrowsburg, New York's kind of like hippie on the river. Everyone just like communally fucks each other, But continue, Bleezy.
That's anywhere. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Continue. You're
Anyways.
serving people in bubbles with
So
like
this
condoms and
couple wants a fiery Coco Loco. And I'm like, I got it. Mother's Day, it's a Sunday. I bring them their fucking pineapple. And the job is to like light it on fire at the table.
Yeah,
you
like,
go
do one of
there.
those like fancy.
So you
things.
create the drink, you place it on the table, and in your hand is a jigger of Everclear. And
What
your
did you
other
say?
hand is a lighter.
Yeah, what did you say?
Everclear, jigger.
No, that word before that.
a
Yeah.
jigger.
Did you say you're going to replace that J with an N?
Yeah, I don't think I heard what I thought I heard.
Yeah, what did you say?
Dear God, gentlemen, pay attention.
Jigger of whatever the fuck, Everclear.
Ever fucking
got you,
clear.
got
Okay.
you.
What
It
is
is
a
like
jigger?
pure alcohol for
Yeah,
the
no,
most.
explain though. What is a jigger? Like a half
No,
shot?
literally, a jigger is just like a measuring tool for bartenders, right? So it's got a 1 ouncer, 2 ouncer. You've got ones that can be measured in quarts, right? One,
Okay.
2, 3.
So it's a jigger is a very small amount?
A jigger is a small amount.
Okay.
It's just like a measuring tool, and it can be like a
Yeah.
shot or 2 shots, whatever. Okay, so a small jigger is like, you fit it in the palm of your hand. And you're supposed to pour it on the top of the drink and then light it on fire. So I do exactly that. We're in this plastic bubble, and I light
You're
it
in
on
a
fire.
confined
But
space
it's
playing
so
with fire.
yeah, it's a very confined space. So like I'm 5'1".
Oh God.
I am 5'1", and I can stand straight with like maybe 6 inches of reach above me.
Yeah.
So like your guests are sitting down and they have plenty of room. But anyways, you're like very much close to the edge of the tent at all times. Light the damn thing on fire. And it's like, it's so cold out that there's no flame, there's no spark. And I'm like, it's Mother's Day. Like, I want to see some fire. These guys want to see some fire. I want to put on a show for them.
And also, you have to like think about like the tips you're gonna receive. Like the
oh,
more,
of
like,
course, it's always for the tips.
it's
right?
always for the
it's
tips. Like
you know,
you just have to put on a face and be like, hey, I'm gonna like show these guys a show.
Right. Like I can
and
put
be
on
like,
a fire.
Hey, if I make them feel like, hey, this is special to you. It's Mother's Day. Hey,
yeah,
I'm Debleezy. Here's what I picture you doing. Like,
it's all about you, but it's really about me.
And
right?
this is Debleezy. This is none of you don't know. This is how Debleezy comes out. She comes out like this. You guys want to jigger of
hair swipe, plant my feet, prepare for this.
Yeah, plant. And she's only like 3'2", so she's like this big in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I'm the size of a Smurf.
She pours the jigger in. Continue. Go on.
Without being blue.
Hit
I
us
light
up.
this fucking fire, and it is super 1000% anticlimactic. I mean, like, it was like the weakest little baby blue fire that baby barely glided over the top of the Coke.
So you tried, in theory, like, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to get more of you on what you were at.
Okay.
You thought, like, or is your experience being that, like, when you light this, it's gonna be like maybe a little puff, like a little flame.
So the puff comes later. It's funny you mentioned that. So we also have like a little container of cinnamon, and cinnamon will light on fire instantly.
Yeah, as you sprinkle.
After the fire is lit, you douse cinnamon on it, and it's like pew pew pew, like little sparks.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh yeah,
and it's super fun and cute, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!" And then you walk away.
What's going
on?
Oh my god, fire! Right? Great.
Yeah, super great fun. So none of that happened.
Ugh.
Right, tiny little blue fire. It's fucking bright
anticlimactic.
Well, Mother's Day. What month is it? I don't even know. Anyways,
probably something like March.
It was super
between
cold.
January and November.
It was so cold.
I think Mother's Day is March.
Well, fuck you. Anyway,
all right, March. It was still really
you know
cold.
why don't you suck me?
So
well,
anyway,
I'm
like this fire. I'm like this fire is for these guys. So I'm trying to pour more Everclear while also lighting it on fire. Okay?
Try to make the show bigger.
So, you know, in the movies when like you have like your little string and the fire, like people put gasoline on the line, right, and it lights and it's like it goes all the way down the line.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I keep lighting the fire, and the fire goes up the Everclear into my jigger. So now I'm holding a jigger full of fire in my hand. And of course, I panic a little bit.
Oh my god!
And I freak out, and I'm like, "This is fine. This is fine."
You
but
gotta
then
keep
it
your
spills
cool.
on the table, and now there's a little bit of fire on the table, which isn't a big deal until it spills now onto the floor, and then trails out to the edge of the tent, and now the tent is on fire.
Jesus and a half.
At what point were you like, "Hey,
maybe we should stop"? At no point. At no point did I think
we're like, "Hey,
that
you know,
de-escalating would be a good idea."
So
no.
You basically went in there. You want to create a show. The show took a left,
and I really did. I actually did create a show, not just for the couple who, you know, luckily I put the fire out, but furthermore, my boss just so happened to be fucking standing inside the restaurant faces the very window of the bubble table that I was serving.
Dealing with. Yeah.
And he gets to see the whole thing.
I kind of relate to that, Justin. I don't know if you were like ever got to experience like, I don't know if like Justin ever got to experience being in New York, like after COVID times, you would go to a restaurant and they would have their like seating, but then they would have on that street right there, they would have this giant bubbles that was their outdoor seating area.
Yeah.
I'm familiar
that was
with
a thing.
it.
Yeah.
None of them were fire safe, by the way.
No, not at all. So
like
you basically went in there and were like,
dangerous.
"Hey, I want to create a good experience, as a great server should." They want to create and be this personal person that, like, you know, fucking like, "Hey, look at this fire everywhere." So you like went above and beyond, like, "I'm gonna light fire along this whole fucking bitch," and fucking did it. And then what happened? It fucking it just went south.
Melt the tent. That's what happened. Now there's like gaping holes of melted plastic.
That's really funny you mentioned gaping holes, because Justin really loves gaping men's holes.
Hey, fuck you, first of all. And then I've been meaning to ask you a question. So here recently on the show, we started doing these video episodes. We've had mixed levels of success as we run through some technological issues.
Yeah, as anybody would.
But I wanted to ask you, because I know you caught a couple of our episodes. Have you caught our first episode? It would have been episode 10 where we were running video. I've coined it the shit your pants episode. Have you seen that one?
That's what I'm interested. I think me and Justin both, we have a few questions in our mind that we like want to ask every guest, no matter who they are. Like our standard set of questions. Like we could talk about,
That's a great question.
Yeah, we can ask XYZ, but the question I think we want to ask you, has there ever been a shit your pants story that comes to mind?
Yeah.
And this is a no judgment junk, because let's be honest, Justin, like,
we have our shit in our pants
have like
already.
been embarrassing to share ourselves. Like, have you had one of those situations where you'd be like, I shit my pants, it is what it is?
I honestly never had a story like that until recently.
Recently, as in like
recently,
a year?
as in like,
because I think recently, when it comes to shitting your pants, I think recently is in
4
5
months
years.
ago.
What?
Like 3-4 months ago.
Wow.
Top.
Oh my god! All right. Well, do you
so
mind
right
sharing?
now you're on the Mount Rushmore of shitting your pants because
you're like on the forefront of it.
My last shit your pants story. What was that? It was probably 2 years ago.
Yeah.
How long has it been since you shit your pants?
7.
Wow.
Yeah. So, no, actually, just the other night.
I was gonna say you're due for one then.
Yeah. No, I just told you the other night. I shit myself. I told Christina.
Is that
I
right?
shit myself the other night. Remember that conversation? I was throwing up and I shit myself while I was throwing up.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I was shitting myself.
Well, I thought you were naked.
It's like a normal thing. I feel like when you're young, from like ages 0 to like 15, you should not shit yourself really ever.
Well, babies.
But as you get older, though, you need to be shitting yourself more often. But Christina, like he said, do you have a story you told us how long ago?
Okay, yeah. So it was like a few months ago. And we're at a Popeyes. And
like sitting down in Popeyes?
Me and my husband are at a Popeyes.
Just a fine dining establishment.
Yeah, as you expect.
No, listen. Okay, so at this time I was like fasting, right? So I would only eat for like 8 hours a day.
Okay.
And
like the intermittent fasting thing?
And I don't know what the fuck was happening to me, but that particular day, I was like, it was like wet shit all day. And it was like at least 6 times prior. So
frequent wet shits.
So like, this all happened at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night.
Oh my God.
So from the morning to the evening, I had shit like 5-6 times.
You're like cleaned out at that point.
I thought I was cleaned out.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm waiting. Like the biscuits weren't ready. I don't know why, but the biscuits.
Those goddamn biscuits.
You gotta wait for them. You can't just leave Popeyes.
You thought the biscuits were done.
You thought they were done,
but they're not.
So you can't leave Popeyes without biscuits.
No, you can't.
I'm waiting at the car. I'm like,
kind of like Red
I knew I
Lobster's
had to go to the bathroom. Right, I'm waiting at the car, and all of a sudden I feel like I have to fart.
Been there.
Okay, gotcha. We've all been there.
Yeah.
That one fart that like turned into
hence the term, I feel like I have to fart. So I'm like, all right, I'll fart.
I love the look. Do it again. Give us one more left.
You got to make sure the coast is clear.
Yeah, the coast is clear. I'm good to go. I can release one. Look above, look behind. Batman's not watching.
Let it rip. And lo and behold, it's just hot, muddy, and thick.
Fire in the hole, dude.
Dude, can you give us
and
an
I'm
impression?
like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Blazy.
I have been doing this all day long in a toilet. And now, of all fucking places, I am in a goddamn standing in a parking lot. And
of Popeyes.
Whatever.
Would you
Fast
say
food.
it was more of like a, or like, can you give us like a little, like, what do you, because like.
It was silent, dude. It was one of the silent ones.
Like a.
It was oh. It was at the loading dock.
It was
waiting.
You didn't have any gas in front of it.
There was no gas.
It was already there.
It was like 1,000% false alarm. Like,
so let me ask you this.
What I thought was warm gas.
It was
actually
already there.
Warm shit.
It was already there. You're just literally
and I
thought it was a fart.
I was like, pew, like over my head.
Right over my head.
Well, let me ask you this:
idea that this was going to be a problem.
Did it happen to penetrate the underbritches and make it to the trousers?
Yeah, what happened with there? Like, did you like shit on the ground through your pants? Like, what happened with that?
Look, dude, I am not wearing granny panties by any means.
Oh,
I'm
God.
wearing
that ain't good.
I'm wearing something that is much thinner and lesser.
Oh, that's not the day to be wearing it.
That's not the day to be dealing with that.
I'm telling you, this couldn't have come at a worse time. and furthermore, my shorts were very short.
Oh no!
Okay, all right.
Oh no!
You're literally not doing yourself any favors
this,
at all.
This happens. I'm like, this is the fart.
Is it running down your legs?
No, it's not going down my fucking legs.
No,
but it's there.
thank God. Thank God.
It's there, and I can feel it, and then when the husband gets to the car, I'm like, we gotta go.
Oh no!
We gotta go. We gotta go right.
We got to code
now.
Brown.
We gotta code.
We got to code Muddy River. Yeah, we're running up the Hudson right now.
Yeah. So I grab whatever garbage I have in my trunk. It's like some newspapers and whatever. Some newspapers.
God.
And I place it down on the passenger seat next to the driver before I sit.
So he was the driver.
Because, there's no way I'm going to hold a lunge for the 20-minute drive back home.
Wait, lunge as in, what do you mean
Or
lunge?
like a squat, you're
not gonna this is what I picture you being that. I picture correct me if I'm wrong.
There's
you're not gonna do this.
Right, because car seat, in a car, you don't have armrests like you're holding on to right now. Otherwise, maybe I could have done it.
Yeah, you're not gonna do this.
Right, you've got your center console and
the door handle, I guess.
Yeah, the door handle, I guess. Yeah.
Maybe, but that's not sustainable for 20 minutes.
Not at all.
I wouldn't expect so.
So I'm huffing. I'm like, dude, you gotta go faster. And he's obeying the speed limits. And I'm like,
and you're probably just sweating
I can't
bullets.
argue with that, but at the same time, I was fucking livid. I was like, this is a time now fucking emergency situation. You need to fucking go 89 miles an hour right now. But I didn't say that because you know what? There were cops out, and I respect that.
At all.
Fuck you and anybody who was driving. I would have said, "Hurry the fuck up! This is about me."
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Is out of all times to obey the speed limit, that is not the time. And I have thought to myself, I was running to work maybe 2 days ago. And I texted my fucking boss and I was like, yo, dude, I need to shit myself now. And he hits me with that, well, get here as soon as you can, right now. And I'm like, hey man, it is if a cop pulls me over when I'm doing 90 and a 65, I will tell the cop, I'll break down crying. I'll be like, oh my God, haha. I'm going to shit myself in front of the cop just to prove a point. Hey, dude, hey, cop.
Just out of principle.
Yeah, out of principle. You're not going to okay, cool, I'm speeding. But hey, officer, I am actually right now shitting myself. Actively shitting my fucking pants. And I am sorry. I respect you and, whatever law enforcement agency you're a part of. But I am actively diarrheaing and filling my pants. This is what you have to deal with.
Well, I think when you roll the window down for the officer, he's going to catch a little whiff of
you better have some sort of respect and decorum for what's happening. For God's sakes, man, I'm a grown man. I'm shitting myself.
Hey, so I know, and I don't even think I need to really prompt you on this, though, but we cannot leave. We made a promise to each other that we would ask any guest that came on the show one particular.
All right. I got to do it. DeBleezy. This is a conversation or a question.
I never finished my prior story.
You're what?
I never finished the prior story.
Oh, well, continue. I'm sorry.
Oh, there's more.
Well, continue. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Please.
Yeah.
Okay, well, when I got home, the newspaper didn't hold up.
Oh.
Yes.
No.
That's what I needed. All right, and what happened?
And I cried and wiped it with Lysol wipes until...
Oh, that turned so sad.
You had to clean the seats of the car?
No, dude.
Of course I cleaned the seats of the car and I was not crying, but yes, it penetrated the newspaper, okay? That is the point.
No, Justin. Could you imagine?
And then you know what? It doesn't just help to just go to the bathroom. You need to take a whole ass long hot
That's Justin.
shower.
Justin knows that shit.
Yes.
Oh, I'm a shit boy.
Okay, because I did see the episode, and you do need to take a whole shower, okay?
So what I'm saying is I pictured
he
DeBleezy
hit me with that on that episode. He said something like, did you just give it a wipe? No, you're not giving it a wipe.
You're not giving it a fucking wipe.
A courtesy wipe.
No.
Oh
you need
my
to
God.
rinse all the guilt The shame.
The shame.
All of it needs to go.
Dude, I'm
Did you have the
all of
Popeyes? Did you go
your
ahead?
top layer of epidermis, it's all gonna go.
Did you
Oh
go
my
ahead and eat the
God.
Popeyes though?
Say what?
Did you go ahead and eat the Popeyes?
I ate it on the way.
You ate it while shitting?
Oh, you can't do that.
You can't eat while shitting?
do that.
It was the only thing distracting me from what was happening.
No. You
Tell me
don't
no.
get that.
You
You
ate-
don't get
The
that.
meal was done before we got back.
How was
That's
the,
how much of the speed limit we were following.
how was the chicken?
You don't get that, Bleezy.
Doesn't matter. It's too late, man. I ate all
I
of
pictured
it.
the Bleezy sitting here crying with a wet wipe, wiping off her cars like.
Listen, man. If I had a wet wipe, okay. If I had
Put
a
a
wet
little
wipe,
honey on her
it would have
biscuit.
all
Yeah, a
been.
little honey on her biscuit.
It would have been in the parking lot instead of my car.
Oh
Okay?
God.
If you had, what was that?
If I had a wet wipe, it would have been in the parking lot. All my shit.
You
would've
gotta
just
do what you
been
gotta do.
in steaming piles.
yeah, I
would have just
respect
been
that.
laid
I
out
respect
there.
that 100%. I
Right?
think me and you just
Because
we
the
can respect
parking
that,
lot
yeah.
doesn't have a lease, but my car does.
I
Yeah.
shit into a urinal.
Or
Yeah,
maybe
I'm
it's
right
a-
there with you.
Yeah, like we get that.
I
Like,
don't.
yeah,
I
sure.
didn't get to have that experience, and I wish I did. It would have been a lot
Wish
better
I did.
than
She
shitting
wishes
in my
she
own
had-
goddamn pants and then sitting in a 20-minute car ride home.
Oh
But
my god, dude!
anyways, case and story. Don't just think it's a fart. It might be a shit. Just hold.
Never trust it.
Also,
Don't trust it, and I never do. And I never do. Anyways,
I can't. I can't.
that's
take
my
it, dude.
spiel.
I can't take it. Having a guest on and having them hit us with this. Hey, I get what you're coming at. Where you're coming
do.
from. You know, this is what's going on.
Everybody's been there. If they say they haven't, they're a liar.
They're
Yeah,
a liar.
exactly.
They're fucking liars.
So you brought up to me. What was it? What was the question?
You know the question.
All right. Okay. Fuck.
Yeah, he doesn't want to say it now.
All right. This is an off the topic question, like an off the bat, like pretty crazy question.
It's a
that, like, we
curveball,
have-
if you will.
What?
It's a curveball.
It's a
if you will.
curveball. Like we have like established this from me and Justin, like when we started the show, like this is a question, a standard that we will ask to. I think I have to reverse a little bit because we figured that we would have mostly male guests on our show because they mostly
Wow.
were the.
I'm not even gonna go there.
Here's
but
the
okay.
thing: we expected mostly males to come to us because a majority of bros being bros, all your bros want to support you. But I'm lucky enough to have a very, very close to my heart friend of mine, the Bleezy.
Well, it's
It was-
easy to befriend women when they all think you're gay.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Right.
How did you know?
Yeah, how did you know? So I'm very thankful enough to have Debleezy on here to actually bless
Oh, she's
us.
been a great guest.
Oh my god,
Best guest so far.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Amazing. I'm blessed to have Debleezy as a friend, and I thank God every day for that. But I have to say to you, does
Out with it, man.
does penis size on a woman matter to you?
Do you prefer your women to have large penises or small?
I'm telling you, we're working off like what we got, dude. We're expecting guys on here. So here's the question. Let me ask her a better question. If you were single in a great world where you were single or a bad world, wherever it may
Oh my god.
be,
Fine. I would say, okay, listen, if we're talking about a small penis to a large spectrum, no. What are we talking
Would you right now, let's say you were single, and this is very hypothetical. This is just me and Justin being a big piece. Let me switch a little ways. This is just being a big piece of shit and like us giving you this hypothetical that we want to ask people. Would you rather hook up with a transgender man, a female who went to a man who still has a penis, or
or
a-
you mean still has penis? You mean now has
basically does penis size matter to you on a transgender person?
Yes. It always matters.
But what if they're really hot? What if you get with a 10
I
out
don't
of 10?
care.
Do looks over compensate for
No.
what you're looking for? Like they could be like Christina, I'm telling you like this right now. They could be like whatever
All right.
your epitome of like, the most attractive man is. They could be everything you ever wanted, but they have the opposite of what you're interested in. Are you willing to sacrifice that for them, or is it like a no-go
Eternally?
no matter what?
Am I willing to sacrifice that eternally?
What?
Chronically? Eternally? Like
Forever.
Yeah,
forever?
sure. Yeah, sure to Bleezy. Yeah.
No.
Okay, you've heard it
Here's
here
the
first.
No, I'm sorry, but no.
Yeah. Okay, you heard it.
They would be lucky if they were that good looking enough. They would be lucky for me to even consider it going near my face.
Well, here's
Wow.
the thing. What I have to say is, and we'll end it with this, Christina.
Listen, I'm an artificial bitch.
Well,
okay?
here's the thing. I was gonna
It
say
has
this,
to be
Justin,
nice.
and I think it's a very respectful way of saying this. I think any man who is lucky enough to like be able to participate with you and have a great relationship with you is a lucky human being. You are not only smart, funny, intelligent, but have a great sense
and
of humor.
extremely unlucky, but go on.
Yeah, but I think like I speak for both me and you, Justin, when we say we appreciate you being on the show. Your comedic value is so much to us, and we really enjoy having you here.
Oh yes.
Oh,
I'm
100%.
so grateful that
Oh
you
my
could
God,
all
dude! Like you
find
have been
humor in my shame and experiences. Yes.
exactly.
Let me go ahead and add
I'm grateful
to
to
that,
you.
though.
It's really
Hey,
about you, the fans. Fuck you for enjoying this.
Well, Justin, hype her up a little bit more because I've
so
hyped up
let me
too
go
much.
ahead and add to this. You've been a really special guest for us. We really appreciate you. You're the first
100%.
video guest that we have.
Oh yeah.
And I think I'm pretty damn sure I speak with Thomas when I say that we would love to have you back on the
Oh,
show
I think
another
this
time.
is not the last time you'll see DeBleezy on here.
God
In-gear listeners,
damn
go
it.
ahead and hit us
I
up at
knew this would be
ingearpodcast@gmail.com if you have questions
Yes,
for ourselves
guys.
or for our guests. If you want to hear from her again, let us know. If you don't, well, then fuck you.
Yeah, fuck
And,
you, because she's gonna be on here again.
Go ahead and
So-
send us home.
Hey, listen, guys, you're listening to Thomas, Justin, and Christina. We've had a great time on this episode. We hope you enjoy this one. We've worked very hard together. And let us know if you care about the episode. If you have any comments, fuck you. We probably don't care. But if we do, we'll read you comment on the episode. So we'll catch you later.
Sean, get us out.